Let's get started. And
Okay.
I just want to share for a minute why I am a part of the Ecosense team. And the real heart of the reason is the sensor. I got a chance to see the sensor back in 2015. And when I realized um, how many counts per hour per picocurie per liter it can gather, and how affordable our manufacturing partner FT Lab was able to design and make this, I said, wow, this is going to really change radon testing, because it's going to open up a lot of applications that in the past were just not affordable to do real-time continuous monitoring with such a sensitive detector. So after I left the executive director position at Arston NRPP, I wanted to join the team at Ecosense to be a part of all the great things that we're working on right now. And I like to share that with people. I'm pretty passionate about what we're up to. One of the questions we had prior to the meeting tonight, people submitted some questions, and one of them is, which devices do we have that are certified? So these are our 4 professional devices. If you go to our website, ecosense.io, you will also see we have devices that are targeted toward consumers. But our professional devices include the RadonEye Pro, which is our topic for tonight, the EcoCube Pro, which is new as of 2024, along with a new updated version of EcoGuard, and we continue to make improvements in the dashboard capabilities for those. The distinction between the EcoCube Pro and the EcoGuard is EcoCube Pro is a device for testing 48 to 96 hours. So it's designed for short-term tests, and the program we have for that makes it affordable enough to compete with charcoal canisters for even large projects like schools and apartments. The EcoGuard is also NRPP approved, and it is a what I like to call a long-term CRM. It's affordable enough to be left as part of the mitigation system, permanently installed to monitor and alert the homeowner in the event that the mitigation system is not working properly. It even has a feature that if you install it after the mitigation system is activated, or as you're activating the system, once the system is run long enough, you can pull a 48-hour post-mitigation clearance test report that meets the NCR standards and send it to your client. You don't have to go back and pick up the device, because as part of your long-term monitoring and service plan that you provided your client, it will stay there and continue to monitor and alert in the event that 48-hour average exceeds the 4 picocurie per liter action level, or whatever action level you set. And then there will be monthly system performance reports. If you'd like more information on those, please go to our website or send me an email, and I'll be glad to talk to you about them. And then on the far right is our Eco Tracker. It's not NRPP or NRSB approved because it's a diagnostic device. It can be set to measure at 5-minute intervals or 10-minute intervals, as well as an hour, and is used by mitigators primarily to go in and do their initial proposals, or do diagnostics when they arrive at the site, get some quick data, help them better design a system and prevent costly callbacks when they discover after they did their post-mitigation clearance test that perhaps they missed something. So this is a good way to prevent that and make your installation crew more efficient and save those costly callbacks. So tonight we're going to be talking about the RadonEye Pro, which is sort of our flagship professional monitor. It's been around longer than our others, and You can see that it's both NRPP and NRSB listed. It operates using a mobile app that's good for iOS or Android. You start and stop it, and you can prepare reports and send them out with the app. You also have a web dashboard that you can manage your report templates and keep your records and so forth. And we'll go over some of that. It comes with a carrying case, and you can create a complete ANSI compliant report with it. It has a temperature sensor, a humidity sensor, a movement sensor to, in the event somebody moves it, you can tell that. Because of that 30 count per hour per picocurie per liter counting efficiency I just mentioned, you won't find a monitor that has even close to that kind of detector efficiency for less than $3,000. So we've quite proud of the technology here. So some things we're going to try to cover tonight, or I'm going to try to cover tonight with Jaime's assistance, are some things like, you know, how the mobile app works a little bit in the web dashboard. We don't want to get into too much detail because we'll be here for a while, so we'll try to hit the high points and answer your questions. How to add new users, admin functions and employee functions, how to quickly generate great looking and compliant test reports, state activity reports that are required by some of the state licensing programs, even troubleshooting things when they go wrong. As I mentioned, the RadonEye Pro comes with a carrying case with a tripod holder. It comes with the power adapter and a step-up cable that you can step up the voltage to use with a battery, and it comes with a battery pouch, so you can run it on battery or you can run it on the AC adapter. We don't sell the batteries directly, but we can point you to a number of different batteries on Amazon, for example, that you can buy that will easily power the RadonEye Pro. If you have questions about that, then again, send us an email or give me a call. The sensor that's the component that makes the device so remarkable is an ion chamber, and it's a ion chamber design that not only has been designed to be very efficient, but part of that design is the way the inventors and engineers were able to eliminate background noise. So it's very quiet, meaning you don't have a background to speak of. It's very, very small. And so it makes it quite efficient. You probably studied about how ion chambers work in your initial radon training course. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time here, but I do want to point out, and this isn't a math problem, but I do want to point out that because we're getting 30 counts per hour per picocurie per liter, that at a 2 sigma confidence level, which is 95%, you can be sure, 95% sure that a 48-hour reading of 4.0 is between 3.9 and 4.1, and that's pretty darn good. The other part that the counting efficiency really makes available is the ability to have certainty in those hourly readings. So just a 1 hour reading at 4 picocuries per liter, you can be 95% sure that that 1 hour reading is between 3.3 and 4.7. And by comparison, if you look at probably the leading or most popular professional monitor that has a 2.7 count per hour per picocurie per liter efficiency, they're 95% sure that their 48-hour reading of 4 is between 3.6 and 4.4, which isn't too bad. It's not as good as ours, but not too bad. But if you look at their 1 hour confidence level, that counting error is between, at 4 picocuries per liter, you could be 95% sure that the reading is between 1.4 and 6.6. So what you lose is the ability to really track what the radon concentrations are doing throughout the deployment period with these devices that have a lower counting efficiency or detector sensitivity. So that's one of the key differences between our device and our competitors. And we can exemplify that with this particular graph. Over on the right is an AlphaGuard monitor that is not a monitor that would be used for testing homes, typically because it costs about $10,000. So the radon chambers like to use these secondary chambers and EPA, and it gets about 100 counts per hour per picocurie per liter. But you can see our RadonEye Pro running alongside the AlphaGuard tracks right along with it, and that's the kind of performance that the RadonEye Pro can produce. If you compare that with other popular devices out there, you can see the Sun 1028 at 2.7 counts per hour. The 1030, which they put multiple detectors in, gets up to 15. Corinthian Pro is 3.7, and then Radolink is over 20 there. But if you look at the prices, you can see that not only do we perform better, we're less expensive. So let's kind of dig into the mobile app and the dashboard. We've been working to make this better, and there's always something that we hear from clients that we get suggestions and try to make improvements. So Jaime works with our developers to make sure that those things get done as soon as we can. And then every now and then, with anything working with mobile apps and Google Android platforms and iOS, one or the other comes out with some sort of a change, and then that impacts something we're doing. We had a recent incident with a change in an Android format for certain phones. I think I'm explaining this right, Jaime. And we were trying to figure out what that was. It was a glitch that was causing a headache for a couple of our customers who had these types of phones. And we've been able to resolve that and get that taken care of. So if you have issues like that, we want to hear from you where we can get them addressed ASAP. So I'm going to go through some slides on this, and then Jaime, I'm going to ask you to be ready to perhaps pull up the dashboard and walk through as we get to some questions. I want to try to keep the conscious of our time where we can keep the webinar to 30-45 minutes tops, and people can go on about their evening. But the first thing you do, obviously, is to, like with anything else, is you need to create an account, and you can actually do this either through the app or the dashboard. To me, it's easier to do it through the dashboard. Basically, you just got to put in your email and create a password, and you will create an account. And once you're into the dashboard, then you need to add a device. Now, one of the first things you need to do after you just get your account is you're not going to have any users that have access. So you need to invite new users, and that starts with yourself. So you can send yourself an email and your employees an email, and they will get an invitation that can click on. I'll show you what I think I've got a slide there. Yeah, there it is. You've been invited to join the RadonEye Pro. So once you click on that, you can sign up. You can have your employees have different logins to get in. So there's creating your account from the dashboard. Works pretty much the same way. once you have an account and you have access and you can get into the app. And by the way you're going to get the app is to download it either from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. And you need to make sure you get the RadonEye Pro app, because we also have a RadonEye app, and we have Ecosense has some other apps there. So you need to make sure you get the RadonEye Pro app. And once you get that, then you're going to be able to recognize your RadonEye Pro with that app via Bluetooth. And once you do that, then you can go to the device menu and you can go to new inspection. And in the vernacular here on our app, a new inspection is a new radon test. So you can see that we have the choice of a 1 hour, 4 hour, 12 hour, and 24-hour wait time. Excuse me, yeah, 24, 48, and oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we have a 12, 24, and a 4 hours. Typically, you're going to do a 4-hour delay. That's because the standard says you should discard the first 4 hours from the average. And if you do the 4-hour delay, then that's just going to delay the start. So you can go ahead and put the unit in the test mode, and it will just not start logging data until that 5th hour, as per the standard. Then you can see there is a Wi-Fi enable toggle button. You don't have to put the device on Wi-Fi. Most of the time, you're not going to have access to your client's Wi-Fi, but if you do, or you're in a situation where you would like to do that, you can toggle on the Wi-Fi and connect to the Wi-Fi at the site, and then you will actually be able to monitor the data while the test is in progress from back at your office or from your app. And you can choose. There's a toggle button there for the little display that's on the top. You can toggle it on where it will show what's going on at the top, or it can be not toggled on, and that way your clients are not going to see what the test results are as they're in progress on the display. Did I get that right, Jamie?
Yeah.
Okay. As you put it into the test mode, you can see that there's a device status, and that will show up while you're setting it up, regardless of how it's set. Ready means it's ready to set up and begin a test. Inspecting, it's in progress. Inspection done. And continuous monitoring in this terminology means it's on the Wi-Fi. Even though it's always a continuous monitoring here is it's on the Wi-Fi. Inspection status can be waiting, and don't let that confuse you. That's just the delay time. So it's not waiting to start. If it's waiting, it's because you chose, for example, the 4-hour wait time, which is the delay time. It will change the status once it has passed that delay time. You can see up at the top, if you set it for a particular time, it's going to show finish, and you can do that, or you can just let it run until you go and stop it. But you can see that over on the left, once you confirm, once you've connected and you've taken the file from the device into your phone, then you can confirm it, and then you can view your results. You can click on the test data, and then you can save it. By that, you can name it however you want to name it. Otherwise, it'll just be named according to the serial number and a number that follows. But if you want to name it after a client name, you can do that. And then you can generate the report. So you see that little report button. You can do that from the field if you'd like. The other thing is with the dashboard, if you need to get onto another inspection and you have somebody in your office that can assist you to go into the dashboard, then they can work on the report while you are driving to your next inspection and getting that going, and save you from having to do that.
Mm-hmm.
This is what the dashboard looks like. You can see, you can get the status of the devices that are out or in your office, wherever they are. And then the data is what, if you click on that over on the left side, you can actually see the data that you've downloaded into your phone app. Radon reports are where you would find the reports that you have created and saved those there. You can go in and manage your devices, your users. You can add users and clients. One of the things that we did recently, because people were getting a lot of clients in their client database, we made it where you can toggle to either the last client that you added or the first client you added. So you can, you don't have to wade through a long list of clients in order to find the one you're looking for, particularly when you're out in the field. So you can just click and it'll show the last one you added. Once you have completed the test with the app in the field, then you're going to have inspection data. You can see this on your phone as well as on the dashboard. It gives you all of the basic information. It just hasn't created a report yet. That's the next thing you would do after you click on inspection data, is to create a report where you can provide it to your client. I'm gonna kind of move on through this, and where Jaime can actually show you a little bit what it looks like. But you can see here you've got the ability to go in and edit files and so forth. Here's a screen that shows clients, so you can go in and at the top right you see there's a green button up there with a plus sign, and you can add clients. And then if you add them from the dashboard, for example, when you get out into the field to start a test, and you're starting the test and it gets to the client entry, you can scroll into the client database and pick the one from your mobile app that you added, perhaps, or your admin person at the office did. And you don't have to add it in the field. It's already been there. You just select that client. The admin person can register and manage devices, invite and manage employees, manage device access, who has access to the test devices, manage inspection data and company information. For example, how to put your logo in and so forth. You can put the logo in from the dashboard. You can also put it in from the app, right, Jaime?
Yeah.
Perhaps Jaime can kind of show you that too. That's something I don't particularly do because I'm not out testing anymore, but I know a lot of our users add that in from the field when they need to. And employees cannot register and manage devices and cannot invite other employees, but they can start and finish an inspection with devices that they have access to by the admin, and they can access inspection data that's shared, and client information that's shared. Radon reports are not shared. Only the admin can see those, other than the one that's that you just managed. So I think what I'd like to do, and then I can come back to this and see what's the next thing I've got there. Jaime, would you mind pulling up the dashboard and kind of walking them through a few things? And I'm going to look at some questions that we had, and maybe we can answer some of the ones we had, and then I can look and see what questions are coming in now. I see we've got a few.
So Dallas, can you give me access to share the screen from my end?
You should be able to share, yeah.
Okay,
Well,
hold on. Yeah, now I can. Okay. Let me know when you can see my screen. Okay. So from the generating the report from the dashboard, I'd like to let you guys know that we have the function that are creating the template here. So unfortunately, currently, no, I think we support both NCRs and then the basic Radon report. So you can create a template. For example, you have a multiple users using the devices, then each tester has a different license number or other images you want to keep using it from company view, or any materials, photos or logo you want to share with the users, then you can create a template from here. Create a new template, just add a name, and then the certification number, the email address, phone number. And then we have an option, you can add a placement test field technician, and then the retriever, and then the other option for the comment. So you can either add a text up to 1,000 characters, or you can upload to the images like a Radon action guideline your company created. So once you create this template, then the every users of your company or you, when you generate the report from the app, you can select those template, so you don't have to enter every information every time when you generate the report. So it'll be very useful when you generate the report from the app. And then using this data, so I'm gonna generate the report. So I'm gonna use this inspection data here. So click the report. Then there is an option, two types of report option, the one standard and the one NCRS standard Radon report. So I'm gonna select this one. And then as you can see, I have a preset templates here. So I'm gonna select maybe Samuel template and then click next. So I'm gonna use this overall Radon average here, and then the picker query per liter. Then select. So those are the, I already uploaded my company logo to here from my account settings. And then you can either add your clients from the here or clients menu. And then I'm gonna select Dallas here, maybe building year 2000, building type house, room type basement, floor basement, and then click next. So those are the information that I already created in our template. So I don't have to enter again. And then here is the test. And then I can select those questions here. So maybe I just keep same answers to save our time.
Those are all the questions that NCRS wants you to have. It's a good thing they're all pretty much yes or no, other than putting in the temperature.
Yeah. And then those are done here. Those. So either you can upload a file up to 2 images or add a text. And also we have a pre-made answers, the MAH recommendations here. So I'm gonna just click and then it'll automatically populate into our report. So maybe I'm in California here. So make it
Jamie, on those excuse me for interrupting, on the images, you can put photos in, or if you're in a state that wants you to add, like Illinois, add the diagram
Yeah,
where
sure.
you placed it, or add in your non-interference agreement
Yeah.
with signature, you can add that in as well.
So those are so we have 2 pages. You can upload up to 2 photos. Each page is here. And then you have a separate PDF that you want to add to at the end of the report. Then please click this one, add the PDF button. Then I can click PDF file, but I don't have one now, so I'm just skip and then click preview. And then there is our report, so you can save. Any question? Dallas, can you see the questions regarding the
see what I've got? So Daniel is asking how many CRMs can be placed in a single test site. Well, you can place as many as you'd like, but if you're testing multiple locations in the same building, or you're doing a duplicate, like every 10 tests, then you can note that on the as you create the report. Can you show that section, Jamie, where you would, for example, if you're placing another device?
Yeah, okay, hold on. Cancel. Yeah.
And the state reference, Daniel, also for if you click Arizona, it should add in the Arizona state reference URL. If you see that sometimes the states change things, and they certainly aren't going to notify us. So if you see perhaps it's not the same as what we have in our database, then by all means let us know. But yeah, every state information that's required will show up on that page, depending on the state that the test report is happening in.
So Dallas, this is a section that if the device for the duplicate test, so you can select it here, and then the manually enter when measurement started, ended, and then the overall radon concentration from that device, and then the test location, and then it'll display it on the report.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Let's see. I think I got those two. See, I got a few more over here. See, I have another question. Well, let's see. I had a couple that came in before. One of them is, how can you get the address of the property to auto-populate? If you put in the client information ahead of time from the dashboard, for example, or have your admin person do that, then you can, when you select that client from the mobile app, it will auto-populate their address and everything, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
So the client's information, those are information one share between users and then the admin. So each users, the testers, needs to upload the client information if they want to generate the report.
Okay, well, I had a question that just came in. Can you modify the location in the field? So if you have a client, but then if something needs to be changed, can you change it from the app?
No, actually, if you need to change the location, meaning the address, then I recommend to add a new clients, because, or otherwise you need to updating the client information from the dashboard.
Yeah. So if you discover something's wrong when you're out in the field, from the one that you entered or had someone enter from the dashboard, then just add a new client from the field, and then you
that's it. It'll be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. Some default options in the report, create template radon reports. I think we went over that. but templates are only applied to the ones that are for the NCR standards. Correct. The standard report or the basic report is the basic report, and it doesn't give you all the options to create templates.
Mhm. Any other question?
Let's see. I have one. Let's see, how to generate reports. I think we covered that. And then there is a question on fringe connection process. And I probably need to make sure I am understanding. That one was from Eno. Are you here tonight?
I
Here
think
it
so.
is.
I saw, yeah.
Are you talking about if you've got a poor connection with your Wi-Fi? Maybe you're in a rural area where it's a little sketchy. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah, intermittent.
Yeah.
It works, doesn't work. It works, it doesn't work.
Okay. Jamie, what's your best advice on that? I know that what you can do is if you start your app where you have good connection and just leave the app open, that even if you have no connection, when you get to the property, the app will connect via Bluetooth to the monitor. And you can go ahead and start the test and go on about your business. Same thing when you retrieve it. If you started, when you maybe leave the previous location and it's still open, then when you get there, you can retrieve the data. And as soon as you get to a place where you have good Wi-Fi access, then you can access and send the report out, finish the report, whatever you need to do. Does that?
Yeah, I didn't see it on my last occurrence. It pulled up a previous test and appended it to it, which was the same stuff. It's just like a freak thing. You must have seen it, Jamie. Well, last week there was I had a connection outside, came back in, connected up, did what I usually do. But when I went back to my dashboard, it pulled in a previous test and added it to it.
So you mean the duplicate the data into one inspection data, or?
It took data from a previous test because when I went to say it didn't connect afterwards, it didn't whatever you get the blessing afterwards. In other words, you start the app, you go in, you do your stuff, and then it says upload failed. And that's what happened. The upload failed. So that usually didn't happen like that before, but it pulled in a previous test and put it ahead of it.
Are you using an Android or a Apple?
I'm using the only thing, an Android.
Okay. All right. Well, try it again because I just updated some things for Android this week. Isn't that right, Jamie?
Yeah, maybe glitch the state issue affect your inspection, maybe.
I don't know. I looked at the version number. It was the same version that I had, so I don't know. How does it update? Does it update? Do I have to?
Is that update out yet, Jamie? Or is it coming out?
So, yeah, I think it'll roll out 100% by next Monday. So it'll fully rolled out next Monday. But I think why don't you send the email to me? Then I'll take a look.
You run a copy. I said, what's James?
You sent it to James. Okay.
James Lee. Yeah.
Okay,
you were all copied on it.
Okay.
All right.
I'll check.
We'll check it. I'm sorry that we didn't get back to you.
No, that's not a problem. What you explained before always worked. And this time I came back and I had a 24-hour wait, but I already had
Mm,
48 hours of data on it.
okay.
From
Okay.
yeah,
Well,
whatever. Yeah.
I'm hoping
Mhm.
this latest Android update, because suddenly we had a couple of things happening with certain Android functions that
Mm.
wasn't anything we did. It's just they changed something.
Hmm.
So we had to adapt, but we got it fixed. I don't know if that had anything to do with it, but we'll check it out.
Mhm.
I did get a question on how to market radon test services. I have a webinar out if you go to the InterNACHI site, a webinar there, you can look it up, but it's I think 6 ways inspectors can get more radon tests. So I invite you to watch that. One of the things that I strongly recommend and have for years is don't wait for people to ask, because often people just don't know about radon and don't know to ask. Certainly if there is a real estate agent involved, they're not necessarily going to bring it up if the client doesn't ask. So I would always treat radon as if it's just a normal part of your inspection, and of course they're going to have one. Probably the best question that I've was able to come up with is, have you scheduled your radon test yet? Or would you like me to do it along with the home inspection? I can do it with the home inspection and save you from having to find another vendor to do that. And then their response may be, whatever it is, and even to say, well, do I really need one? And that's where you need to say, absolutely. The EPA and the CDC recommend all home buyers have a radon test. It's a group A carcinogen. It's the leading cause of lung cancer, and people don't smoke. It would be unwise to purchase a home and not know what it is ahead of time, where you can hopefully get it addressed as part of your negotiations with the seller. But even if you can't, at least that it needs to be fixed before you spend much time there. But if they don't ask, they're probably just not thinking about radon. So it's important, I think, for you to kind of be aggressive enough to look after them in that regard. But watch that webinar. I've got several ideas there that I think will help you get more tests. Let's see, I'm seeing a few more questions coming in. So client's home address is where they live now, but the test location address is a different thing. Yeah, if you typically want to put the test location for the address, and if you have a different address for the client or something, you can put that into notes or comments. And then since the test reports are typically delivered via email, then as long as you have the email address for that client, then if they live in another place other than the property address, then that's not an issue. I hope that answers that question. Most of my clients are wanting an inspection of a home they're considering. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's the way most people address that is for a client address, you want to put in the property address you're testing. Is there a way to assign the customer contact to the inspection at the time the technician starts the test instead of after the test is finished? Let me make sure I'm understanding that. Is there a way to assign the customer contact to the inspection? You could put that in the comments section of the app, correct, Jamie?
Yeah. The inspection at the time the technician starts. Could you let me know? So I think maybe we can talk to.
Let me open up your mic, Juliana.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure I am understanding. Oop. Well, here he is. All right, I
Yep.
think your mic's open.
Mhm.
So are we talking about the same thing? Giuliano, is your mic open?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. What I meant is, right now, the way I'm doing my measurements is when I come back to pick up the CRM
Mm-hmm.
and I see the test in the app, and then I create a report and assign a customer to it. Is that a way to have the customer already assigned to the test during while it's happening?
If
No.
you go into the dashboard, you can add the client. Can you add that after the test is started, or do you need to add the client before it started, Jamie?
So either way, this clients menu, you can add your new clients at any time, and then after you finish the inspection, and then when you generate the report, you can just select the client from the
Okay, so
drop-down
that's the only
menu.
way to have a client attached to a report is afterwards.
Yeah, there is no way to assign customer to that inspection date. I mean, the inspection
data.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. I was
Yeah,
just
you
wondering.
can have the client information all pre-entered where you just click on the name.
Yeah.
Sure. I was just wondering if you do a lot of tests, you could lose track of who's the test belongs to.
Yeah, that's why you may want to put in a note
Name.
in comments or something, just where anything to make sure that.
Or you can add a client's name or client's address, a specific, the notes to the inspection data when you save the file name, and then you can distinguish from others.
Can you say that again? So when I pick up the CRM, there's inspection data there. There's a place for notes.
Yeah, so not a note, but when you save the data, inspection data, then you can change the file name. So maybe you can add a name as a client's name or address, so you can distinguish.
Before creating a report.
Yes.
Yeah, when you go into the data, it'll ask you to save the data.
Okay.
And it's not because if you don't save it, it's going to disappear. It'll still be there. But if you save it, it asks you to put in the name, and it will default to the serial number and some sequential numbers after that.
Yeah, I understand, because that long file name is a serial number, and then the measurement date is confusing maybe. Yeah, so yeah,
Right. Yes. Right now I don't have a lot of customers. I don't lose track, but I'm wondering, doing like many tests, I'm gonna keep track of who it belongs to.
Yeah, what I like to do, even just when I'm doing them for demo and around to show people, is I back up the date, and so I leave the serial number, but then I add in the client name or the location or something for the file name, and then if I go back in, I know, oh, okay, I know which report that is.
Okay.
Test data, that is.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a very good question.
Let's see if I have any more here.
I answered John's question that I think.
Okay, Thor, modify locations. I think we got that. I see Michael had to run off, so we will catch up with him and answer his question. And I think, so if you have a question that we haven't answered, then raise your hand where I can. No? All right. So let me do one thing then before we close out. I'm going to share. Okay. State reports. There are a number of states, at least 9 that we have already, that require reporting of all of your test activity. So we now have programmed the template for each state, whether you have to enter it, email it in, or whether you have to go into the portal that the state has. You can get that data from us in a CSV file, but you need to ask for it. So if you are at a time where you need to send in a report to the state of all your test activity, then if you will send a request for that into support, then we will pull that for you and send it to you where you could provide it to the state. And finally, we've got a special going on. So for you taking your time to attend the webinar tonight, if you need another RadonEye Pro because business is booming, then if you will take advantage of this between now and Sunday night at midnight, you can go into our website, ecosense.io, and go to the RadonEye Pro page and put one in the cart, and you have to wait all the way until you get to the last thing to put in your credit card information, and there'll be a little box up there that says discount code, and if you put in Dallas 100, then you will get $100 off. So that's a great deal. Hope you'll take advantage of it. And Jamie, do you have anything else we need to
No, I think
cover?
yeah, I'm good.
Well, thank you for your help.
No
I don't know
problem.
what I'd do without you. Jamie's always working with the developers to make things better, and she knows all of our products better than anyone. So
Anytime.
depend on her a lot. So thank you for joining. Again, if you need anything at all, you can contact our support line, or you can reach me at djones@ecosense.io. And have a good evening.
Thank you, everybody. Bye.